Grace to Welcome back. Nice to see you. Great to be here. Fighting off some allergies today. That's okay. We're ready to go. Everybody deals with stuff. Nice to see you all. Busy day today. My name is Dean. Lochlin Cross is here. We've got a guest. We'll introduce him in just a second. Lots to get to today. We're going to do a little online shopping. That's what we do here. We're doing a little online shopping, a little gift gadget, little gift guide gadget thingy that we're going to do with our guests. That'll be a lot of fun. So hold on for that. Also, Twitter is going broke and Trump is going to jail. Ladies and gentlemen, today should be a fun one. Please welcome to the program, Mr. Happy Lochlin Cross from 957 Cruise FM in Edmonton. My name is Dean, and also welcome to the program, tech guru, friend of mine, known him for years and years and years. There's no one I trust more in this space. Please welcome to the program to talk Elon, gifts, gadgets, etc., Mr. Mark Saltzman, tech guru here.
Hey,
Mark.
Thank you, guys.
Nice to see you.
Thank you.
Doing, brother?
Yeah.
Thank you. Hey, nice to see you guys.
Good to see you too. You got the
Happy
Christmas
holidays.
decorations up. Happy holidays.
Yeah,
You got,
trying to look a little festive here. Yeah,
You
thank
are.
you.
Yeah, you got the tinsel behind you. You got the little robe of tinsel, which I like.
I do. Yeah, my dollar store investment. And then I'm rocking some flannel. You know, It's Canada over the holidays.
Yeah, you look all Christmassy.
Thank you.
Take a nice little note too. You know what I love about what I see in your room rater? I'm going to rate your room real quick. Is you're repping holidays.
Yeah,
You're not one of those.
diversity.
Yeah. You got the Star David with a little tinsel. It's like, hey, listen, I'm Jewish, but I also like to party around Christmas time. I
Yeah.
love that. And then you got the tinsel, but then you've also hung Santa's pants. You got yourself a nice little fucking stocking in the background there, a Christmas tree. I just love it. I love the inclusivity. That's a 10 out of 10 for me.
That's Canada. That's, thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome. You should be. Are you all done your Christmas shopping? You do it all already? You finished?
Yeah. We did like most of it last week. We're hopefully going away next week, so we got it all out of the way. We're dropping it off this week. Yeah.
Are you
We're usually last minute Larry's, but we did pretty good this time.
Are you one of the people that is like, hey, listen, honey, let's buy all the gifts, drop them off at everybody's house a week before Christmas, and let's just get the fuck out of here. Go somewhere warm.
We usually don't split over Christmas because I'm always at the Consumer Electronics Show like January 3rd. And I am again this year, but excuse me, having 3 kids away at university, we're empty nesters for the first time. The only time we can go away is when they're all done exams. So yeah, it's going to be real tight back to back, but little violins, right? Oh,
yeah.
Poor guys got to go from, a beach to the world's biggest tech convention in Sin City.
Yeah.
Sucks, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, but we are going away this year. Yeah.
That's a lot of traveling during the holiday season.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah.
And it's expensive, man. It's like the airlines and the hotels are like, all right, we had a shit 2.5 years, so we're now going to make you pay.
Well, is it like what are we talking expensive? Like, give me I don't need you to ballpark.
Well, it's all relative. I don't mind. It's $25K for the 5 of us.
You're going away for a year?
I know. Just for a week. Nowhere.
Where are you going? Around the world?
Nope. Just to the Caribbean, but nothing fancy. And
Wow.
To me, that's a lot. I don't know. Maybe your viewers would tell me otherwise.
I
don't travel a lot outside of work.
I'd have to sell an organ.
To me, that's a lot, dude. $25K for anybody is a lot of money, but that speaks to the point. Like I was talking to my dad the other day, and he's got a couple little things around Christmas. Him and my mom are flying all over. He goes, "But we can't. Like, it's fucking insane how expensive. Flying is. And hotel rooms are. It's like after the pandemic, they just went, listen, we need to make it all back in 6 months. That's what we have to do. So everything's that much more expensive when you travel.
Yeah, I'm justifying it by saying this is our first family trip in 3 years, and this might be one of the last times we're all going to go together because my kids are getting older, and you know what I mean. So they're in the 20, 20, and 18.
Good.
Here's a question for you.
I wouldn't be able to sleep for a month if I had that sitting on my credit card.
Excuse me.
Like honestly,
do you prefer traveling with younger kids, or is it easier to travel with older kids?
Oh, easily older ones, except they go we go to bed before they do. So then, you're wondering what kind of stuff are they getting into,
Mhm.
right? So that's the concern, right? Little kids, little problems, big kids, big problems kind of thing.
Mhm.
But no, yeah, no, my guys are great, but we want them to have a good time. And,
How many
uh,
kids have you got?
we
He's
have
got
3.
34 kids. He's got
we have
34
twins.
kids. Yeah.
We have twin boy-girl twins who are 20 and an 18-year-old son as well.
Oh, okay, good.
You know
So
what
yeah,
that
let
is?
them go and party after a
Yeah.
week. My wife Kelly and I crash or whatever, or
Yeah.
we'll party with them. But it's different. It's different. It's less tiring because they're self-sufficient. But then, and again, the concerns are not while you're awake. It's like when what are they doing, and what is it safe? Are they going to leave the resort? That kind of thing.
You know what it was when my kids were younger? It was just this asshole move all the time. As soon as we get to the airport, because you had 3 kids, right? I had 3 kids. So
Yep.
you get to the airport and you got 3 fucking car seats. And not only you have 3 car seats, you got like 2 bags for the younger kids. So you got to carry all their carry-on
Oh, yeah,
shit,
it's a pain,
bottles, fucking diapers, all that other shit. And I remember looking at my ex-wife, and we had all 3 kids, and we're getting on an airplane, and I can't remember where we were going, somewhere on vacation. And I had the full sweats because I was hungover from the night before. I was like fucking full sweats. And I remember looking at my ex-wife going, why the fuck did I do any of this? Like, this is the worst. Traveling with young kids sucked so hard. We did it 3 times where I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm buying a cottage. We'll just send them up there in the summertime. I'm not getting on a plane with them.
Yeah,
And now it's like way
actually
different, right? Because you can go, hey guys, let's all go. Let's go to the pub. Let's go to the thing. Let's have a drink before we go. And then blah, 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 blah. But you're right. I mean, then you're like, okay, mom and I are going to bed. You're at an all-inclusive. And some security guy knocks on your door. It's like, your son was found drunk and naked in the couple's hot tub.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So I have a rule, and we stuck to this pretty hard for quite a few years. And a lot of people are like, they judge me harshly for this. And I try not to judge people. I do, but there are a couple of things I can't help. Honestly, I swear to God. And one is if you travel with kids, like if you travel with a child between the age of 0 and 12, you're the worst human being ever, unless they're drugged, and that's allowed. So just you give them like a half a bottle of cough syrup or something like that, and then they'll sleep through the flight, and then everybody's okay with it. Or like it says, just 1 gravel every 12 hours. Just slip 3 or 4. They'll sleep like princesses.
You ever drug your kids? You ever drug your kids, Mark?
No, I can't say I ever have. Wow.
I was drugged constantly as a child. And
I don't know. They've always been good to try. I got invited to this Disney cruise that had a lot of tech on it, and I was contributing to CNN Weekly at that point. So they invited me to a junket, like a free trip. My wife's like, Disney World, that is not the happiest place on earth. I'm not going. So I'm like, but it's the cruise. She's like, no, I don't want to be around other people's kids. So I let my wife have a staycation. And out of the year, I took my 3 kids by myself. They were probably 6, and 4. And we were on the tarmac in Toronto, and we didn't even leave for 3 hours. We were stuck on the plane. So then it was another 5 hours to Orlando. They were surprisingly really good. I just shoved iPads in their
drugged
face.
them, Mark. It's
No,
okay
I
to
didn't.
admit
I'm
it. You're with friends here. You're in a safe space.
This is a parent's dream right here. Every restaurant, there's a reason why this babysitting tool.
I am okay. I'm not judging you for drugging your kids.
Dude,
you were by
that's
yourself.
the new way to drug your kids.
Digital
iPads
drugging.
and like digital drugging your kids.
That's
dude,
it.
It's brilliant. Right? Brilliant.
Put a game under
Grab
the
all
nose,
also
Netflix,
works.
Disney.
Yep, Netflix, Disney, Brick Breaker, little Wordle.
I get a whole box of Gravol once, an entire box. I punched every single one of those things.
Yeah, I'm sure you did.
Wow.
Well, good for you, dude. By the way, I don't know another man who took all of his kids on his own on a plane. You deserve an award right now.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I appreciate that.
And
that was a long time ago, but no,
we will not tell anybody you drugged your children.
He didn't. He just gave them iPads. We've been through it. Mark Saltzman's our guest at Mark_Saltzman on Twitter, Mark with a C. Gadget guy, gift guy. We're going to talk a little bit about Elon Musk. We're going to talk a little bit about a Christmas gadget thing. Did you watch the World Cup? Did you watch it? Did you enjoy it like I did before we get there?
God. Yeah. I don't think I've seen a better game in my life. Definitely not. I've never seen a football game, a soccer game like that in my life. That was unbelievable. So entertaining, especially the last bit. Wow.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, it was awesome. Down 2-0. France is down 2-0. They don't play for like 70 minutes. Finally get in the game. This Mbappe guy was just unbelievable. He scored all 3 of their goals. One on a
within
penalty.
like 90 seconds or so of one another.
97 seconds. Yeah, it was just fucking. It was
Amazing.
just crazy. It's like one of the things that I kind of came to appreciate about soccer is one team can dominate for like 80 minutes, and the other team can just finally fucking show up and turn it into a game.
Yeah.
Great. Argentina won. The place is going nuts.
Messi got to retire on a high note.
Did
he retire?
Yeah, that's the story for me from international competition. That's the story for me because I'm watching Tom Brady, right? Throw it all away every week. He threw it away again yesterday. It's like, oh, fuck, this is hard to watch.
You want to go out on a high note if you can, yeah.
Is this one of the best sporting stories ever? Like, the dude was the GOAT of the GOATs for his generation, right? Like, listen, I'm not a soccer guy. I can't pretend to be. But Lionel Andreas Messi, for the past 15 years, has been the best soccer player of his generation. It's just
for sure.
And then he doesn't get a sniff. And we know what a god maker the World Cup can be because I watched the Maradona fucking thing. I was watching the documentary. I'm like, oh my God, he's like a god over there because he led them to a World Cup. And that was at the start of his career.
Still don't get
this
it.
is at the end
when he was with Spain. Yeah.
Ronaldo?
No, I thought you were talking about Messi when he was with Spain. Yeah.
When he was with Barcelona. Yeah. Yeah, because and he gets pumped, and then he goes to Paris, and he's like, "Fuck, you know what? One last kick at the can." And the best player of his generation won the biggest fucking tournament, and didn't just win it. Wasn't just like
team.
There. He was the best player on that team. Yeah, it's not one of the fucking best stories ever.
Yeah, you can't write that stuff. It was awesome, so entertaining. I mean, it always sucks when it gets down to a shootout, but it was such a great game, and anybody who doesn't like soccer, and I'm not a huge fan either, but for those who say it's boring, like, wow, if that game doesn't convince you otherwise, then you may not have a pulse. I love that drone footage from Buenos Aires.
Yeah, that was. Did you see? That's for me. I guess because I've been sort of anti-soccer my whole life. I guess I have a hard time. Like, listen, I'm not an idiot. I realize that soccer is the biggest sport in the world. Like, I get it. I'm also okay with it. I don't mind if you want to play soccer. Hell, my kids played soccer. I don't care. Like, it's kind of like the Big Lebowski thing, right? Like, that's kind of why I get a little annoyed with soccer, right? To me, it's an okay sport. It just is. It looks like a lot of running. Like, I'm out.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And they'll go like some
it's
teams
slower
play
pace
a whole season and score 3 goals. Like I just don't understand the level of fanaticism for the game. It escapes me, I guess, because I don't have a huge passion.
Well, dude, you know how you are with the World Juniors, right? In the NHL and Stanley Cup playoffs.
You're probably an Oilers fan, right?
I'm not trying to convince everybody on the planet that that's the best single-handed best game. I appreciate the World Juniors because I know I like hockey, and I like it when the youth are performing and making mistakes. It's exciting for me to watch. I also know it's not the best hockey. Right? It's like watching Toronto sports media report on a Leafs game and then give the box score of the Oilers game when McDavid had 5 goals and Leon Draisaitl had 4 goals.
We always go back to this. We always go back to this. We always go back to your hatred of things you don't understand. Always. You get all mad and you start relating everything back to how much you fucking hate the Toronto Maple Leafs. Has nothing to do with the Maple Leafs. 5 billion people. It's like, you know what? As soon as we start talking about soccer, in your mind, you're like, I'm going to turn this into how much I fucking hate the Toronto Maple Leafs.
That's a good segue to go right to the Leafs.
Yeah. But it literally, like, if you need to know how huge this is, let me just play you this drone footage.
Play that video.
You guys brought up.
It's unbelievable.
That's insane.
It is. This is Buenos Aires, Argentina, immediately after Messi and Argentina won the World Cup. Watch this. we just don't understand. Like you know, like you can poo-poo it all you want, but 5.5 billion people watch that game. And yet that's like 7-8 million people that just streamed into the streets of Buenos Aires after Mark. Just to
Football
go,
is life.
This is awesome.
That is
it is
insane. Remember when the Raptors won and everyone was
That's
freaking
great.
out about the celebration?
Yeah.
Like that was like a in the bucket compared to this.
popcorn.
That
fart.
entire
It's a population thing, I think, as well.
Yeah.
Well, but it almost looks like the entire population of Argentina jumped into the streets of Buenos Aires. Does it not look like there's got to be 1 million people?
More than that. There's 7 million people in downtown Buenos Aires.
Wow, crazy.
7 million
That's
people.
insane.
Yeah,
That's
and there hasn't even been a
insane.
parade yet. Like that's the thing. That was just like, let's celebrate. We're the fucking best in the world.
Well, they went all night.
again.
They went all
did.
night too. There was footage.
They're still going, dude. They're still going. It's
I wonder how
incredible.
many people have died.
I don't know yet. Congrats to Argentina. Congrats to Messi. That was incredible. You know, the fun thing I love the most about it is Elon Musk was tweeting assassination coordinates from the World Cup of like 100,000 people. As someone that understands what's going on, and Mark Saltzman joins us, tech guru at Mark_Saltzman on Twitter is where you can find him. As someone that understands what's going on, someone that has watched the birth of Twitter, I was there for the birth of Twitter. I've had an account since like the fucking first 2-3 months that it opened back in 2008, 2009. What do you make of what's happening? I mean, you know, not only was he at the World Cup, you know, and fuck, we'll get to some of the video of it, but while he was at the World Cup, feeling the heat, you know, he said he was going to step down from Twitter if people answered this poll question, should I step down at the head of Twitter? I'll abide by the results of this poll. 57% of almost 18 million votes said, yeah, fuck, dude, back down. And then he's like, I couldn't find anybody. I searched for 7 hours, so no successor will be named. And it was just another drama queen moment. But we've seen a lot of those. What do you make of Twitter now as opposed to like, you know, Twitter from its inception as it has gathered interest? And then, of course, pre and post Elon, because it's fucking weird.
Yeah, it's a dumpster fire over the past couple of months, which is still entertaining as hell. Like I've always followed Elon Musk. I mean, as a techie, of course, I admire him as a futurist and an inventor and, you know, entrepreneur, visionary. But since he took over Twitter for $44 billion in late October, it's been just nonsense because he's been tweeting. He always says, I always consider Twitter like a stream of consciousness. I'm sitting on the can and I like a photo, or I want to make a comment about AOC. You've seen and heard all those Musk's comments, but it's the hypocrisy that kills me as a free speech absolutist by blocking journalists who have written bad things about Elon, and he claims it's because they were linking to that doxing story, which had publicly available information in it, to saying that. Sorry, I just had a mind block. Well, that whole pay for blue check mark fiasco. And then he is not letting you plug handles. This is where I was going to go. He doesn't want you to plug handles on competing social media platforms on his platform because you should be paying for it. But he's all about free speech and let the chips fall where they may kind of thing. So I just think it's a very hypocritical on across all levels. Now he says I should be putting more things to the power to the people and democracy, and let's vote on it all, and let's see if he really will step down. Obviously, it's not going to happen overnight. And he said in defense, I think one of his fans commented yesterday about it while he was at the game or on his way to the game, and he said, don't wish, don't if
careful what you wish for, you might get it.
But he was also saying, because this company was bankrupt and I invested like billions of dollars in this. So if you want this job, have at it. And then he made the comment a little bit later, about be careful what you wish for. Like, who's going to be running Twitter next? Is it going to be even worse? So, left, right, I don't care. It's just like this is supposed to be a digital town square. I just think it's been a real mess, entertaining as hell, but it's just frustrating because every day seems to be like these policies are all on a whim. And does he have any safeguards in place? Like, is there anybody that's, editing or filtering what he wants, or is it just one person running this whole thing? I know he laid off a lot of people, but he didn't lay off everybody. So crazy.
No. And I think, the fascinating part for me is that, you can change things on people, but you give them fair warning, generally speaking, right? it's the manicness with which he's operating with right now, right? And as someone that talks to a lot of brands, right? You're in not, you work with a lot of different brands, big companies, big tech companies, phone companies, gadget companies. Can you speak to, the comfortability that businesses that you work with have with, people and CEOs that are not brand safe? Like, is this because Tesla's fucking in the toilet? I think it's down to 147 this morning. It seems to be that
$1.47,
$147
Yeah,
a
147.
share.
Oh,
147 a share was 402 6 months ago. So he's lost even more. Like, and
Well-
it rallied yesterday when he said he was going to leave. But can you speak to that brand safety issue? Because to me, it's like an ego thing. They're looking at him and going, you know what? This guy's fucking lost his mind. He governs on a whim. He creates different policies, like yesterday's policy, which you mentioned. He put this out. He said, we recognize that many of our platforms are active users. However, we'll never allow free promotion of certain social media sites on Twitter anymore. Certain. Yeah.
I love that.
Certain ones.
Like, it has to be ones that he deems as a threat, maybe.
Yeah, well, but everybody piled on, including the guy who invented Twitter, Jack. He's like, why? And not just him.
right.
I mean, Jack was unhappy. He said, none of this
Right.
shit makes sense. And it's not just Jack, and it's investors like this Graham guy, Paul Graham. He's one of the biggest investors in Tesla, one of the biggest investors in Twitter, one of the biggest investors in SpaceX.
Yep.
Elon blocked him yesterday. He's like, go fuck yourself. I'm not going to, like,
well, he's never been shy about, pushing people's buttons, right? My pronouns are now, whatever, impeach Fauci or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Look, but I think the concern initially among brands about Twitter once he took over was allowing back all the hate and rhetoric that there was so much work to decrease on Twitter. And it looked like he was going to open the floodgates again and allowing people back who shouldn't have been. Even Kanye, thankfully, he's banned again. But even he welcomed him back right away, even after all of his anti-Semitic comments, like disgusting Hitler comments. Elon still welcomed him back. And then there's many others. Trump, we can spend the whole show on that. But I think the brands were concerned about what this was. Is this going to now become a cesspool of hate and misogyny and racism again and sexism and all this other stuff? So, I think he said, look, I'm a centrist. I'm not, I actually like Biden and all that. I think he was trying to backtrack a little bit. And then I think some of the brands came back, but there's also been a huge exodus among people from Twitter, not just the bots, but people saying, hey, I'm now on Post, I'm now on Mastodon, like all these other competing platforms. So I think brands are speaking with their wallets as they should be. And I think they're just waiting for the dust to settle because it's just, there's too much instability right now with the platform. Yeah. So why invest in it? Even attacked Tim Cook for, stopping ads by Apple and all that. And that seemed to be resolved pretty quickly. In fact, every other ad I now see is Apple. I don't know if you noticed that, but, I mean, it's once these big brands, GM, some people have said to me, well, it's because he runs Tesla. And I'm like, well, if GM can benefit from the platform, they're still going to advertise on it, whether he owns Tesla or not, because that's obviously a big competitor of theirs. But yeah, I think they were just waiting for the dust to settle and things seem to be getting worse instead of better. So I wouldn't be putting my money there either, especially if people are leaving the platform.
You know what I think is just from watching people get really, really angry about Elon. I think people have to do a better job of separating the man from the platform, right? Like I watched all these people go, I'll never go on Twitter again. Well, no one cares. Like, I mean, I guess maybe if you're a massive influencer, all you're doing is you're hurting yourself. It just seemed like there was all this hatred directed at a guy that he's gonna make mistakes. We all know he's an asshole, like he's a narcissist. Why are you letting it affect you so much, right? Like,
yeah, people take it personally. I don't. I find it to be like the greatest story in the world right now because so much is riding on whether or not he can make this work, including his reputation, which he is destroying. including
Also-
Tesla stock price, which he is destroying.
Right.
So, like, there are so many different aspects to this. I don't take any of it personally. Go ahead, Mark. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry. I was just going to say, and sorry, Lachlan. If he wants to own Twitter and he thinks he can turn it around, make it profitable, awesome. But I don't think he necessarily should be running the company. I think
Yeah, I agree.
I wouldn't want him running the company. You know what I mean? Like if I don't know,
He's jeopardizing it now.
He's got other
with
skill
his
sets,
reputation.
managing a team. Like that's just
Well,
it's
I think what should happen with him is I think he should step down, right? And then just make decisions behind the scenes that he wants to without telling everybody about it.
yeah.
Okay, for instance, like the letting other people on the platform with other brands. Everybody does that.
Yeah.
We do it in radio. Like I'm not going to go on and talk about a direct competitor. Like I understand some of this reasoning. Facebook does it. If you put a YouTube video up on Facebook, they bury it. Like there's levels of this sort of this competitive thing between these apps that's been going on forever. I find it interesting, and this is why I don't necessarily hate the guy. I think the way he's doing this in public is fascinating. We're seeing a lot of people would do this stuff behind the scenes without ever letting anybody know. They would, if they disliked somebody, they would kill their account, but never say it was them. I don't know what happened, just I went for tea.
It's a glitch. I have no idea, but he admits it. Like that's and part of it. Like I don't know about you guys, but part of it for me is like you got to appreciate the power move of a guy who's like, I'm here for free speech, and then some journalist is like, your fucking cars are garbage,
Not
and he's
some.
like nuking that account.
Didn't he block like 15 like major journalists in North America? Like
16, including one lady
16.
who's just been writing about Tesla for the past 2 years, and now that the share price is in the shitter, and she posts like pictures of people's Teslas exploding and stuff. So she's like, she's been on him this whole time. Her name's I can't remember. Lynette is her name. Last name's Liz Lynette, I think. Anyway, long story short, just fucking nuked her account last night. And dude, and it's not like, it's not like I wouldn't love to do that too, right? Like, some people talking about me to remove their ability to talk shit about me. We've all thought that would be a great thing, right? Like
I do it every day.
We've all kind of said, oh, fuck, if I ran Twitter, here's what I would do. I would do some of the stuff that he's done. But like to Lachlan's point, Mark, I wouldn't tell everybody about it.
Yeah.
But that
He
makes me
boasts
think
about it.
Exactly.
I think he's got what I don't want to misdiagnose him. He commented what he had once. It's
Asperger's.
like he's Asperger's. He's on the spectrum. I don't know if that's still the politically correct term, but he's on the spectrum somewhere. And he said I don't have a filter sometimes, and that's what happened with AOC, to go back to her again. Like he froze her account, or he gave her a hard time after she made a comment about him, and then he like totally didn't deny it, because I think it's a power move for him. Yeah. And it's dangerous. It's entertaining, but it's dangerous. But this is like a wait and see kind of thing. He always goes by the majority, and let's see if he really will step down. I haven't seen what he wrote today about it, by the way, but I haven't even seen him acknowledging that he lost. But
he did. He said he couldn't find he said, I can't find a successor.
Yeah.
Clearly he didn't find one in 13 hours from the time that he put that up. He's
Obviously.
like, can't find a successor who can keep it alive. No successor be named. I'm still it. Like it was like an operation. So it makes me wonder how much of it's PR. Lock, sorry, go ahead. You want to say
something? I was just gonna say he's really good at keeping his name in the conversation. Like I'm not comparing the two, but this is the thing that I always thought was brilliant about Trump too, right? Like you can love him or hate him. The thing that was just absolutely fascinating to me was the level of conversation about him. You couldn't go anywhere. Like, no, you couldn't escape a conversation with him. I do think, though, that we are in a bit of an Elon Musk bubble. And I worry about it as content for my other show, not so much here, because we followed it a lot closer here than I have on the locker room. But I say this to Grant all the time, my co-host in the morning. I'm like, I don't think anybody fucking cares. I think there's such a small percentage of the like a working class guy, 9 to 5, driving in, catches 20 minutes of us. He just doesn't give two flying shits about Elon Musk. It's kind of like the royals. Do I know who Harry and Meghan are? Yeah, but I just don't care.
By the
Right?
way,
So I
great,
want
great show on Netflix. By the way, Harry and Meghan. If you haven't watched it, it's fucking awesome.
it is good, isn't it? I'm embarrassed
Incredible,
to tell
yeah.
people. I crushed it this weekend.
It's so good.
Well, I think part of it is our fascination of the rich, and I mean, I think Elon Musk
Yeah.
is now number 2 again. But one of the
guy who
world's
makes
richest.
purses just beat him.
Yeah, so
That's
I think there's a
gonna
fascination
chapter
with the world's richest man, or one of the world's richest men, and then just someone who's relatively young and just so off the cuff, unpredictable in what he's going to say, sometimes volatile, and I think it's entertainment. So I think that's why a lot of people are and when it comes to pop culture, he's everywhere. He's been in Marvel movies, he's been in The Simpsons, he's been on SNL. Right, dressing up as Luigi, was it?
Yeah,
From the Super Mario game.
Remember
Like he makes fun of himself. He's dated he's slept with all the I mean, there's a level of fascination there, right? It's like a real life Tony Stark, right? A young, super wealthy, tech savvy guy. So I think there's
that's
a lot
great
of layers.
analogy. I wonder if he
Yeah.
feels like. Part of me thinks that I think he thinks that he's Tony Stark.
Yeah,
he's not a suave.
No, but he doesn't have any of
I
that
don't
fucking
know.
character or that
Apparently
charm.
he is. Apparently he's
He's got like 28 kids with like 15
Yeah.
different women. He's got something. Anyway,
Yeah.
can I ask you a question about GPT?
Yeah.
Before we get into the Christmas gift guide, Mark Saltzman's our guest.
Sure.
Because this is something that Elon actually introduced me to. And again, AI is incredible, dude. Like Lochlin, if you want an answer to your blogging issues, if you wanted to figure, because you hate writing, you hate doing all that stuff, AI is like the answer. It's not something I talk about often, but we use AI every single day, either Jasper or ChatGPT. And I wanted to get you on this because you put up a really cool little example of what ChatGPT does. So can you explain it real quick before we get to how people can use it? Because listen, if you're looking for a life hack this Christmas, this is it. It's fucking incredible. Yeah, ChatGPT. Yeah.
And it's free right now.
Yeah.
GPT. Yeah. So ChatGPT is a chatbot that is not unlike a chatbot that you would interface with when you're, say, writing with a store on their website, and it's with an AI, artificial intelligence powered person, quote unquote, person on the other end. And only when it doesn't understand what you are asking about, it kicks you to a real person. But for the most part, these days, when you're asking about airlines, you're asking about return policies, you're chatting with artificial intelligence and machine learning. It gets better over time, and it processes your questions.
Wait a second, you telling me that when I log on to my Rogers chat or my Bell chat or whatever, it's like, hi, I'm Mandy.
Yeah,
like, hey, Mandy, Mandy's not a real person.
No,
Is that what
not at first. You know that, right? And then it kicks in only when it can't do it. And it used to be like the first 3% of the chat. Now it's like well into 40 or so percent, and it'll get better and better. ChatGPT takes us to the next level. You are interfacing with this artificial intelligence as if it was a human, and they are dishing out questions to your answers to your questions in lightning fast time, and it's remarkably accurate and good. So you can ask questions like, "Are NFTs dead?" Right? Or you can ask, or you can ask a request like, write a poem, like, or write a song that Taylor Swift would sing about pretzels. And it'll take that data and with its database, it's not connected to the internet, by the way, yet. It's got information that's been coded up into 2021, but it's going to be connected to the World Wide Web at some point, and it's dishing you something back. So to your comment, Dean, about what I posted was someone wrote, explain fusion power, right? Nuclear fusion. So it gives first a very concise answer about, fusion power is a type of nuclear power that's generated by fusing together atomic nuclei to release energy. And it goes on and on and on, right? Then it's conversational. So then the person just wrote back, now explain it like Homer Simpson would. And ChatGPT said this: fusion power is like when you take two little atoms and smush them together to make a big explosion. This explosion is so powerful it can make electricity to power your TV and your beer fridge. It's like what makes the sun shine, but we can do it here on Earth. We just put those little atoms in a special machine and use So it's really funny that you could see it here. It's up on the screen. So you get the idea. You can ask it to write code for you. which is scary if you're a programmer. I'm a journalist. I'm a freelance writer. You can ask it to write an article about Elon Musk and Twitter. Now, it wouldn't have anything post 2021, but you get the idea. No occupation seems safe here. You can ask it to render an image for you to use, or to create a 3D print. Like if you want to 3D print a coffee mug, you can ask it to generate that for you. All free.
Right now, it's
kids
free.
are using it for essays, and it's harder. And professors and teachers, they do have a tool that catches plagiarism, right? They take your text and then they try to compare it to something online that's been clearly copied, lifted. But with this, it's generating a unique answer for you. And it's going to be very hard for professors to catch a university student who's using this to write an essay about Denmark or what have you. Like, it's nuts. And it's so accurate and so good. It's crazy. And no matter what you throw at it.
Yeah. It's unbelievable, dude. I've written like 4 or 5 blogs. I'm like, I'm going to try this out.
Yeah.
So wrote a couple of blogs. I'm like, write a blog about X. Boom. And then like 500 words. Boom. 500 words, blog about X. I'm like,
and you can say, write a blog about Lochlin in 270 words.
Yeah.
Like you can actually ask that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
and it would give me a thing about you, Lock.
Yeah,
and
it would
download you, and it would take any information from the database about you, and it would say Lochlin lives in Edmonton. It is. Right. It's just on a browser right now. I don't think there's an app for it yet, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that's right. You signed up for it. It's called OpenAI is the name of the company. It's out of San Francisco. It only came out in November. You do register for it. It's free, and then it's a web based interface, text based interface.
Well, let's talk quickly about the jobs that this thing is going to threaten. Like you talk about you being a journalist, right? I talk about me being a blogger or whatever it is that we put out. Like it dawned on me when I started using it. I'm like, this thing kicks something out in 6 seconds. 6 seconds. It takes me like an hour and a half to do a pretty decent blog for free. 6 seconds. I'm like, this isn't fair. This is not going to be fair. Like, what industries are going to really suffer because of this?
You know, it's funny. When I started using Fiverr, which is that app that you pay, it's only $5 US, but I obviously pay more to create a logo for me for my radio shows and podcasts and stuff. So people use Fiverr, and I'm like, how much better can it be than this? Because it's usually, by the way, someone overseas where that's a lot of money to them, and I obviously I do tip and top it up. But anyways, I always thought, what could be better? Well, how about something completely free? So this is scary for anybody that does graphic design. You can ask it to create a logo. You can ask it to create a catchphrase for your company, to write a business plan. So Dean, to answer your question, every job where if you're a content creator, at least text-based primarily, or coding, any language that you are paid to use, that could be replaced. Now, look, it's not perfect. It's eerily accurate. And there are some limitations, but yeah, that's scary as a freelance journalist.
So no one else is having like Terminator flashbacks?
Skynet stuff. Yeah. It's
iRobot.
AI is very exciting. It is like a huge leap forward to what we've seen before this program.
You know what we use it for? So I was introduced to this by Lindley, dude. Lynn's introduced me to this. Yeah. I'm like, this is fucking a few weeks ago. I'm like, this is crazy. And he's like, you know what we do? He goes, now what we're doing, because when we index our stuff or we hashtag or create keywords for our stuff, we feed it into this AI, and it's like, here you go. Put these hashtags in, you're good to go. All of it. It doesn't like it gives you an answer for almost anything that you're looking for a text answer for. Mm-hmm. So Lochlin, you could literally be sitting there and go, I want to know, tell me about this hockey player from this generation. Tell me about this harmonica player. Tell me about the life story about it. And it will give you anything you want. And it is eerily accurate. And like Mark says, sometimes it won't do it. Like I've asked it to do some things that are fairly untoward, to write some meaner pieces. And they're like, no, we don't do that. It's not what we do here. But I'm sure AI is going to catch up with people like me that want to use it for nefarious reasons to write hit pieces and blog posts.
Is there like I yell at my phone and I go, hey Siri, I need directions to Walmart.
Yeah.
Well, there it's going. Yeah. But do you have to call it? Do you have to?
No, it's all you type in what you want. It's not voice. From what I understand, it's not voice activated. Now your Siri's telling you off.
It was I don't need to go to Walmart. Siri, go away.
Isn't that fucking fascinating? ChatGPT is the name of it, and I would highly
Yeah.
encourage anybody to use it, including you kids who love to cheat on your homework. This is probably the most effective.
Yeah, let's
homework
encourage
cheat.
that today.
Well,
Until they
listen, why
catch
not?
up.
We're doing it already.
Well, you've
Like,
only encouraged parents to give your kids a whole box of Benadryl, but
Yeah, but I'm against cheating. Mark,
oh, okay.
drugging your children is completely different. That's for other people.
yeah. Yeah, he's being a good citizen is what he's doing. But no, I'm serious. Like have you thought of that? Do your kids are they aware of it? I've got 2 kids that are still in school, and I'm like, one kid's in university, the other kid's in high school
tell
still,
them.
and I'm like, I want to tell them about ChatGPT,
Yeah. Well,
but
we
I
do-
know it's
yeah.
probably not a great idea.
We'll have that conversation on our trip, maybe. And we have not talked about ChatGPT yet. I think
One of
actually one
the,
of my older son Jacob asked me if I knew about it, because it's cool when AI, like I'm a geek, right? So I love this stuff, but it's cool when AI is mainstream enough that everybody's talking about it, or that Lens AI, that software to make those magic avatars that everybody's using. You pay like $8 and you get all these like beautiful shots of you in these like cool backgrounds. It's amazing how AI has become so mainstream that it's becoming, like a conversation you'll have in your house with anyone. That's kind of neat.
Yeah. Yeah, you do it with your kids, dude. It's
Yeah.
it's truly amazing. Like, I love that we live in this time, because I remember when I was growing up living in St. Paul, Alberta, Canada, and this guy came to our front door and he's like, all the information you want is in these 4,000 books in the back of my car.
That's right.
They're called encyclopedias. My
And it'll
dad's like,
cost you 4,000.
my dad's like, at the time, he's like, how much? 10 grand for 40 books. He's like, sold. Sounds like a great idea.
No,
Guys,
that's just A through M. That's not even the full alphabet.
yeah, exactly. And guys, there it is. Now, like my kids don't understand that time. They're like, well, how did you do homework? I'm like, well, what we did was we got out a fucking pencil and we read and we highlighted and we made notes in the fucking margins, and then we put it all together in a piece of paper. He's like, you lived in the fucking dark ages, dude.
Yeah, we did.
Dark ages.
You know what
I'm looking at
say,
is three white middle-aged guys right here talking about technology.
Yeah, not bad.
But what we've seen.
I will say this though. I mean, if I write something and I send it to you, Dean, you know immediately that I wrote it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Big time.
Yeah. Like there's just something about some people and how they present things on paper that that's inescapably them. So I appreciate what you're saying about what this can be and it will be for some people, but I think there's also, it's safe to say that I think a lot of these jobs are still going to be safe if you can stay true to who you are. And again, like I said, I can't explain why, but I know that if I wrote something tonight and had a friend of mine email it to Dean going, hey, what do you think of this? Dean would call me and go, did you write that piece about the taint that Barry sent me?
Yeah, we're doing a lot of taint pieces at deanblundell.com, just so you know, Mark.
He would know that it came from me. And again, I don't, that sounds egotistical, but I'm pretty certain that I have, when I put something down on paper, when I did,
it has it's got a taint to it. It's to your point. It's got like a
you can always use ChatGPT to write the first draft, and then you can comb through it and just, Lochlinize it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a good point. Put all the 3 dots in for all the punctuation.
Ellipsis. Yeah, that's every
and the random capitalization.
Random capitalization.
Mark Saltzman. So listen, enough of ChatGPT. Before we let you go, some of your favorite gifts this holiday season, maybe some stuff that not many people are aware of. You're on the tip of that stuff. What do you have on your list? What do you like?
Get a car.
You get ChatGPT.
You get ChatGPT and you get chat. Oh, sorry. So it's been a stressful year. So why don't we start off with something to relieve stress? One of my favorite gadgets of the year is the Theragun Mini. It's one of those little percussive massagers, those little guns. This one's actually shaped like a triangle, but on one corner, it's got that ball that you can replace with some other shapes. But the idea is that it relieves tension on your body. It's portable and it's quiet, unlike some of the other big Theragun devices, and less expensive too. it's also for pain management. My wife Kelly's a fitness instructor, a personal trainer, so she loves these things. It's also Oprah's one of her top 2022 picks as well, which is kind of cool. But yeah, it's I think it's a great gift. It's got 115 minutes of battery life between charges, different colors. And yeah, it's been a tough year for a lot of people, so why not relieve a little stress? It's normally $259, but I've seen it on sale for $189 at Best Buy. So that's a good one. And then speaking of stress,
this guy right here, is that it?
That's the one. Yep.
There you go. Theragun Mini.
Yeah,
wow, look who's fast with the Google searches.
Not bad. Yeah. We should. You were talking before we went on the air. We should turn that into actual like a television game show. Who can Google?
Yeah, right.
I'm pretty good at
Google search. Fitbit Sense 2 is a fitness, or rather a health-centric smartwatch, which has a bunch of sensors. Like one is this one that measures your electrodermal response on your skin, like your activity based on stress. Like because like your skin reacts a certain way when you're stressed out. It's got.
You want that news, Mark?
I think it's kind of neat. Yeah,
on an ongoing basis.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a stressful guy, but I like the heart information as well, built-in ECG. That's kind of nice to know.
I run from that information, so it's like
no, I'd rather know. To me, it's ignorance is not bliss. Like I'd rather know. Yeah. And so yeah, the Fitbit Sense 2, I think is a great little gadget. Of course, it monitors your fitness and your sleep as well. Unlike Apple Watch for Dummies, which I'm familiar with, I wrote the book Apple Watch for Dummies, I should say. Unlike Apple Watch, this has 6 days of battery life, which is pretty wild. So that's the Fitbit Sense 2. It's normally $399, so not inexpensive, but I've seen it for as low as I think $239, which is a big discount.
The one thing that I've been hearing guys talking about this is the it measures. Is this the one that measures your recovery time from sleep?
Yeah. So yeah, that's right. That's part of
a lot
of
guys really like that.
Yeah.
Because what it does is it says, okay, you may have slept 10 hours, but you were only such and such a percentage of effectiveness of recovery from your previous day. Right. And so you get a sense of how well you're sleeping, that's something that I'm kind of like Dean. I'm sort of in that's a lot of information about my health that I don't necessarily want to know.
I don't want an alarm going off when I'm out going, hey, fuck, go get your heart checked. I'm like, dude, relax. I'll go fucking tomorrow. But to your point, it's probably smart to do it. But I'm of that. Yeah, I'm not you, Mark Salzman. When my body is like something's wrong with you, I'm like, God damn it, I didn't want to know that, and then I got to go to the fucking thing. And having that's why I've never had one of those smartwatches. I hate jewelry, hate watches, don't wear them. But it's like having a doctor fucking on your shoulder all the time, go or having like an appointment maker go, hey, don't forget about this, and having people be able to get a hold of you all the time. Can you take phone calls on the Fitbit, or is that just
it's all optional? Yeah. Really? So you can get calls, you can see texts, read your messages. Wow. You can use it to buy things at retail by just tapping your wrist, right? You connect it to your credit card or debit card. So it's like every other smartwatch. You can change the watch faces, but it's very much about health information and giving you a better understanding of your overall health and wellness, not just your physical health, but also your mental health as well, right? It's all about stress.
Wow. And does it tell you how much you drank?
No, thankfully.
Salzman's like, no, I didn't buy that watch.
Yeah, no, thank you. That's where I draw the line. No, since COVID or before COVID?
Yes, both.
Whatever. You've had 10 beer.
Yeah.
But that's got to be next, like an addiction watch where they're like, "Way to go, asshole! You had 10 drinks tonight."
Somebody bought me once as a gag gift a little breathalyzer that you blow into the thing, and it tells you what your blood alcohol count is, whatever your level is, so you know whether you should be driving or not. And it's got like a little keychain thing to put on your. I'm like, that would scream problem. Like if my wife saw I had that on a regular basis. Let's just take Uber and be safe. But but it actually gives you a readout in real time.
Have you tried how many?
What did you get to? What was your number?
No, I can't remember the number, but a friend of mine who will remain nameless, we were, COVID hit, and then if you remember back in 2020, then it opened up again, and we all got together and we all like washed the tips so we wouldn't be sharing the same tips, but we all like during a house party, we were seeing
Blue.
it's not safe. Who
got
can
the
get like a
highest?
higher score? And a friend of
What was
mine
the
blew us
highest?
all away. Like
What'd he get?
can't believe he was actually walking. But anyways, don't try that at home, and don't drug your kids with NyQuil, right?
Yeah.
Easy.
You know what? I'm ashamed to tell you this, but I actually I need both hands to count the number of people I know that over the years have had to blow into their dash to get their cars to start.
It's all right. Well, this is on the honor system. It's not connected to your car. It's a little like $60 thing you connect to your.
That's
PC.
you know, if
But
you get
anyways,
one of those for
yeah.
Christmas,
There
I
you
think
go.
the universe is
Your friends
telling
are
you
trying to
something
tell you
too,
something,
right?
yeah. Some other gift ideas that won't break the bank because the first two were a little bit pricier. If you have a gamer on your gift list, someone who owns a Nintendo Switch, there for $35, you can get a SanDisk micro SD memory card for Nintendo Switch Fortnite edition. So it's tied to the very popular Fortnite game, but it's expandable memory basically. Because what happens is when you're playing games and you run out of space, you have to delete games that you still may want to play because you need more room. So this is a memory card, comes in either 128 gigs of storage or double that, 256. You put it in and you're good to go. So they're licensed to Fortnite, so you can see like some of the popular costumes and all that in the game, but it really is nothing to do with the game itself. So that's a good stocking stuffer, $35. And if you're buying for an Xbox or a PC gamer, there's a subscription service called Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, which is $17 a month. The first month is $1. Then it's $16.99 after that. And it lets you play as many games as you want out of about 100 and something games, and really good games, including day one releases. So it's like a buffet approach or, like an all you can eat approach to games instead of an a la carte model where you're buying the games individually. And it lets you play games on your Xbox One or Xbox S or X, Windows PC, and mobile devices. So that's a good gift idea as well, I think.
Yeah, that's an awesome gift because you don't have to buy any games. You pay $17
Right.
a month. You can play whatever fucking game you want and get
Right.
access to the early ones too, right?
And you may not know what kinds of games they're into, so you don't want to, gift a dud, right?
Yeah.
So it's that's right. So I see what you put up there. $50 for 3 months. That's about right. So that's even better deal actually. But otherwise it's so
those are great little gifts, dude. I appreciate you kind of telling us about them because listen, I'm still like at that point where today I was ordering Christmas presents. By the way, they delivered them 32 minutes after I ordered them today. And I am not kidding you. That is fucking, dude. I was still on my computer after ordering them. 32 minutes goes by. I looked at my thing from the time I ordered to the time I was there. At the time the guy got to my house, it was 32 minutes. I ordered Christmas presents and groceries, and they all showed up in 32 minutes. So thank you, Walmart. Really appreciate it.
That's amazing.
It's just unbelievable. But a lot of these things get difficult for people to buy, and just having you here to kind of say, hey, listen, there's some expensive stuff you can get for people, and there's some stuff that isn't that expensive. But just from that gear world, I mean, we're in this space. It's just great to have you here and talk about it, and great to have your impression on not just Elon Musk, but the way that we do business these days. Really appreciate you being here, Mark. Plans for the holidays other than going away and leaving presents at the doorsteps of all your relatives?
Yeah, thanks so much for having me on, guys. No, just I'm looking forward to the Consumer Electronics Show, which is in Vegas. That's like the Super Bowl of tech. I'll be there the 3rd through the 8th. So if any of your viewers,
can we get you on?
Yeah, after you get back.
100%. If any of your viewers are in the tech industry and they'll be there, it's like pre-COVID, it was 180,000 people. So there was a lot of Canadians that I would see there. Aren't you the guy from the movies? I get that all the time. So come by and say hi. Yeah, I'll be around and roaming the booths and doing a lot of TV hits. I'd love to come on and chat with you about the best of CS. It's all about a window to the future of where we're going. Yeah. That's where I've seen a lot of the tech that we use now, like on a daily basis, where initially debuted. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I used to love watching your reports from there. Every time you'd go there, you'd be like, okay, there's this new 104-inch LED square TV that you can fold it up and put it in your purse. I'm like, no fucking way. This is unbelievable. So
some of this shit never comes out, of course. But there's some really cool stuff. Yeah.
Which is bullshit because it's like the concept
movies. I love the hits on the movies, Mark.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks, Lochlin. Yeah, it was a good 11-year run. Yeah. I might be doing something in, I think it was April I was asked about, but it's only if we have a sponsor. We used to do them 12 a year, whether we had a sponsor or not. And then just before COVID, about 2 years before, about 2018, we only started doing them if we had like a brand that wanted me to endorse them. So I only did like 2 in 2019, and then COVID
Well,
hit.
you're also picky because you gotta like the product before you endorse.
Not
it
at
too.
all. No, just kidding. Yeah. Oh, I got in hot water for endorsing a brand that another big brand was not happy about. But I didn't have a choice. I was the host of the segment. So one tech company paid Cineplex for me to, talk about them. And of course, I have to like it. I would definitely put my foot down if it would hurt my brand. But I like that brand. But I'm being very, generic here. But a really big company that makes, smartphones like these was not happy about me endorsing another tech company. So, but
yeah,
after being blacklisted for a couple of years, I'm now in their good books again.
Yeah, you got to wade those waters.
Yeah, you got to wait.
Yeah.
It's tough as a journalist because I'm still a journalist, right? So
Yeah.
to have a paid gig like on the movie theater, it's I got to keep that really separate.
Yeah.
And I never stopped, even though I was blacklisted by that other company, I still wrote about them all the time because I'm a journal, I have to, but
yeah,
it's all good now.
I believe it's called suckholing, Mark, if I'm not mistaken. I've had to do the same thing many times. The old
I'm not ready to call it a day yet. Yeah, a little ball coddling there. You're good at that, buddy.
Yeah, he's
I'm in radio.
Yeah. As is Mark, syndicated talk show host, all over USA Today. He is a tech gadget guru, Canadian guy, good friend of mine, Mark Saltzman. Listen, happy holidays to you and your family. Enjoy your trip. Thank you so much for doing this today and spending some time with us, brother. Great to see you again.
Likewise.
We
Thank
won't
you so much,
tell anybody about you drugging your kids when they were 6,
Dude,
6,
it's you. He just gave him iPads, dude. It's been all over.
Yeah.
We've already talked.
Okay.
Thanks, buddy.
Thanks,
we'll talk to you
guys.
soon.
Be well.
All right. Mark Saltzman, ladies and gentlemen. Mark_Saltzman, Mark with a C, by the way. Such a good dude. So grateful that he could join us today to make a little sense of the Elon thing, which he did, even though you hate talking about Elon.
No.
Talking about Elon.
No.
Love it. Love talking about it. You know who we haven't talked about for a long time? Sorry, go ahead.
I think you have a bit of a problem.
No, I don't.
About
the opposite
Elon.
of a problem. It's the biggest. He's the biggest news story in the world.
He's a big story, but you admit it. You're a bit triggered by it.
No, not at all. Actually, seriously, zero. I can't stop.
Get pretty wound up. You get pretty wound up about this Elon stuff. Okay, Linz does. Maybe I'm projecting
because he
what's
really
happening
likes
to Linz.
Twitter. No, he likes Twitter. Can I tell you something? Let me explain to you where I am with Elon Musk and Twitter in general. I wrote a post about it the other day. He broke me of my addiction to Twitter. Broke me. And I'll tell you why. I've watched him act like a fucking 21-year-old basement dwelling incel on Ritalin on Twitter for the past month. And I'm like, is this guy fucking serious? Like, he's going to give it all back? I've watched him give it all back for clout, to chase clout on something he owns. And I was so embarrassed for him this last week. I was like, is that me? Is that me tweeting all the time? Because when we started DeanBlundell.com, we started the podcast. I sat down with our tech guys and they're like, you got to tweet once an hour. I'm like, why? I don't want to. You have to. You got to stay in the public conscience. You got to do this. You got to do that. You know the rules that you hate about Twitter so much, like all those rules. And I'm like, okay. So you do it by, going after people, vague tweeting, all the other shit. And so I paid attention to the rules for a long period of time. Then I watched Elon do it. And I'm like, oh my God, was that me? This is so fucking embarrassing. Embarrassing. Watching him give it all back. That I was like, I was cured. On Thursday or Friday, I was like, I don't want anything to do with this shit anymore. This is just a repository for me now. And watching Tesla's stock crater as a result, watching his investors actively call for his ouster at Twitter and actively call for his ouster at Tesla, and then go and rub shoulders with Jared Kushner and the guy that killed Jamal Khashoggi at the World Cup. It's like this guy inserts himself in every world event, and he tries to make himself the center of every story. And in the span of a month, he's given it all back. Billions and billions and billions of dollars. And he's running Twitter like you and I decide what we're going to eat for dinner at night. Looking in the freezer going, should I take that? I'll just take that out, see how that goes tonight. And that's
a really good analogy.
fascinating.
It is,
to me.
and I'm glad you kind of you're approaching it differently today than you have recently, right? I think that was part of the thing that was bothering me because I'm trying not to let my balance that I need to have in the world where things need to make sense and they also need to be fair. And because they're not fair, because the world isn't fair, and I've been fed that my entire life, and I see countless examples of it, and a lot of it affects me personally, it drives me crazy. So the fact that we keep talking about this guy's hypocrisy is again, it bothers me.
Yeah, because it's not going to get any more fair tomorrow, right? And you're like, oh, fuck, Dean, how much? No, but there are millions of stories that emanate from that one person. And what Mark said was fascinating. He's like, the guy was in Iron Man. He thinks he's Tony. He literally thinks he's Tony Stark. And
I forgot he was an Iron Man.
Yeah, he literally thinks he's Tony Stark. And so for me, this is like, oh, this is like a movie that's playing out in front of us where the richest guy in the world is literally losing his mind right in front of us to chase clout on Twitter. Like he's giving away Tesla stock to chase clout on Twitter. He's being actively questioned by his investors, his board of directors, and people he works with, actively questioned by NASA, the FBI, the Congress. And he just still doesn't care. Like it's an amazing thing to watch. But it also, like, he's lost so much reputational capital. I'm like, I'm not doing that. Like, I don't want to be that guy. And so the dirge of it and following it has been so incredible to me because it's like a case study in what happens when you give somebody that has no values unlimited funds. Like, you cannot tell me that is not the most interesting story in the world right now.
It is. But I think we are, like I said it earlier, I think we are in a bit of a bubble because I'm the same way. With Twitter. I have seriously been thinking about getting off social media just to get away from, and I brought
the
it up
dirge,
just to get away from all the negative bullshit.
Yeah, it's all negative, dude. Did you watch Karina this weekend? She's going to be on with us this week. But did you watch her this weekend? Did you watch her?
I saw a bit of it. Yeah.
It's like violent. She was pushed, people spitting on her and stuff like that. And I'm like, that's what Twitter is. That's what Twitter is. And so you either are in it, doing it, or you use it, leave your stuff there, and don't give a fuck. Dude, I haven't given a fuck for a long time. But when it came to staying on top of the conversation, because in this business, everybody has FOMO, right? Like, because you deal in content, you don't want to miss out. You don't want to miss a story. You don't want to miss an angle. You don't want to miss a narrative. You want to be able to make sure that you get your stuff out. So, like, I was constantly on Twitter all the time. Now it's to the point where I'm like, zero interest. I'm going to zero in on a story. I'm going to deliver that. I'll support the story with some supplemental tweets. Outside of that, dude, I'm not getting into the gutter anymore at all because it's to the point where it's like
I get dragged in.
I'm watching him do it. Yeah, I know, we all do. I'm watching him do it, and I'm like, oh, that's how the algorithm works. Like, he's giving his entire life back, this thing that he's created, just so he can feel good about himself, but it just fucks him up every single time. And I'm like, I don't want to be that guy. So not interested, but it's still, I can't take my eyes off. It's the fucking greatest train wreck in history. It is.
Again, maybe instead of me getting out of Twitter, getting off social media, I need to use it just like you just said. Post, walk away. Instead of engaging in the conversation revolving around what it is that I'm posting, because quite often I put stuff up there with the sole purpose, even sitting from my high mighty chair here, judging you and how you've used it or things you do. I do it as well. I sometimes I sent an email, or not an email. Sorry. I sent a tweet to my new city councilor for the ward that I just moved into saying, hey, the budget's coming down. Would love to have a conversation with you on our show. Crickets, nothing for like a week. I sent it last week. And then this morning, it came up again that I had sent it to her. And I thought, I'm just going to try something. So I quote tweeted my own tweet to her and said, so is that a no? So she gets back to me, realizing that probably wasn't a good idea to ignore me.
To stiff the guy with the biggest radio show in the Edmonton market?
Well, I don't know if...
Probably not.
I don't know if we need to say the biggest. Then she responds with, very busy. Please send me an email. Like she did the proper, go through the proper channels through my office. Right. And so I tweeted back, and this is stupid. It's just dumb. I tweeted back. I said, wouldn't it have been just easier to say no on Twitter? You know why? Because I know she's never coming on the show.
Yeah.
She doesn't need to send me a tweet to ask me to go through the official channels.
Yeah.
And what ends up happening? Her little friend woke mob comes after me. Right? Like
is that what
I'm
happened?
some kind of enemy. Yeah. And I
Oh, is
mean,
that what
we're
happened?
talking 5 tweets. It's not a big deal. But the thing is, why did I do that? I didn't need to do that.
No.
I have been getting interviews and talking to people I've never met before and doing it through Twitter for 10 plus years now. Do you know what doesn't work? When I send your office a fucking email.
I know public shaming works, man. Like that's the problem is that the things that we try to stay away from are the things that get engagement, the things that get shit done where you're like, hey, that person did this. Cause like it's the perception is the only thing that matters to anybody that you want to talk to in politics, right? Is like, that now people know that I didn't get back to Lochlin. So it's like it's an accountable service as well. Like I kind of like that about Twitter. I like that about social media is that you can put people on blast if they've acted untowards or haven't been a good citizen, and they come out in spades to protect their reputation because it's just a perception war. I go back to that all the time. That's all the whole fucking thing
well,
is.
And she's also a politician that knows my stance on a lot of the things that she voted in favor for. So there isn't a hope in hell that she's coming on my show.
Well, there's not a hope in hell she's going to listen to you, even if she did sit down with you too.
And I don't even need her to listen to me. I was just trying to be a dick.
Pound of flesh. Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Great job. Yeah, you did. Speaking of dicks, have you heard the latest on Donald J. Trump?
I have. Can I make one more comment before we get into the Trump thing?
Yes.
This is something that I came to terms with last week, and it actually it might help anybody who gets up in the morning and is mad at Elon Musk. You know, when you're just meeting somebody, I don't know if you do this, but you start to put together a framework of who this individual is based on your interactions with them. And you can get a sense of the type of person they are by how they answer questions or how they respond to a joke or whatever. So you build this sort of little like bio on your friends and your acquaintances, right? And we all have strengths and weaknesses. I mean, I do it constantly. I do it quite often because I like to keep the group of people that I choose to spend time with. I keep that group pretty tight. So I've got a pretty good idea of who you are, or at least how you react to me as a person. And I think a lot of times what ends up happening is we put these people that are famous for whatever reason, it doesn't even matter whether it's movies or TVs or politicians or whatever. We put them in a we don't do that. We don't break down who they are based on any knowledge of the type of person they are. And so you can become very judgmental and very angry about somebody and how they respond in the public eye without a lot of knowledge about who they are. And I'm not defending Elon Musk, but Grant said something a week or two ago about Bezos that was very interesting to me. He goes, here's a guy that has created a service that the entire fucking world uses. Like we have any shopping at our fingertips. Boom, right there. I need batteries. They show up in 32 minutes. I need a Christmas gift for my mom because I got to mail it out today or it's not going to get to her by next weekend. Boom, Christmas gift at your door. You would think we would love that guy. And yet we all hate him. Everybody hates
he's got
Jeff
more
Bezos.
than us. Yeah.
Yeah, I get that. But the thing
that's
is,
sort of where Elon is now too. He's in that rare air thing where everybody's like, I just fucking want to hate him now because he's got so much more than me. It's egregiously stupid. And
And-
then watching
and
him abuse
that's-
it, people get angry.
That's fine. You're allowed to hate him. But the
Yeah.
interesting thing about Bezos is he just desperately wants everyone to love him. You can tell by how he interacts. As limited as it is, he's really a needy little dick.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
just that announcement a couple of weeks ago where he was like, I'm going to give away all my money, and then vaguely just sort of suggested where it would go. No,
Mhm.
you're not.
Yeah, Elon did that too. Remember last year he donated 5.7 billion to charity. He's like, I'll just guess what he donated it to? The Elon Musk charity. It's like such a lie. It's such a joke. And people get angry because they're like, you never say do what you're going to say you're going to do, and that's one thing you can't do with the everyone else's in the world.
But these
you
are
can't
just
change the
people.
rules and be completely hypocritical assholes. And I know they're just people, but they're showing everybody that the key to success is being a cock, like just being a lying cock. Elon lied. He lies every day. Every tweet is a lie. Like this tweet, should I step down as a head of Twitter? I'll abide by the results of the poll. He puts out a tweet shortly after that this morning. He's like, couldn't find anybody. Fuck, I'm staying. And I'm like, you looked for 8 hours, dude. Like you did. Was that an exhaustive CEO search? Like you clearly have like, Indeed, you can go and look for somebody who's knowledgeable about. You just fired a whole bunch of people who probably can do that. And he's like, no, fuck it, not interested. It's the lies. Like you can tell people they're on their side, which is what he does all the time. And they'll only believe you in as much as your actions dictate. And his actions are the actions of someone who has no intention of fucking doing anything that he says he's going to do. He'll do the exact opposite, and everything's a fucking operation. So that's why everybody's fascinated by it. But it
Yeah.
is not sustainable. Case in point. Donald Trump today is in so much more trouble because the perceptive reality he created of a guy who was not a criminal, just a dude here to help the people, to stand between big government and rednecks, was a lie. And I'll show you how it was a lie. The DOJ committee on television today voted 9-0 to refer criminal charges against Donald Trump and 5 others to the Department of Justice, including Mark Meadows, his former chief of staff. Assisting or
That one
these
kinda
are
surprised me, the Mark Meadows one.
Oh, dude, these guys are fucked. This is what they're looking at, have been suggested to, because they have legitimate reasons and concrete evidence to charge Donald Trump with the following: assisting or aiding in an insurrection. That's a pretty fucking big one. Obstruction of official proceeding. That's another big one. Conspiracy to make false statements. Big, but not as big as the last one. And the first two. Conspiracy to defraud the United States. Starting an insurrection, obstruction of official proceeding, and a conspiracy to defraud the United States. That happened probably an hour before we went on today.
Yeah.
And that is the end result of everybody saying, let's wipe the slate clean of whatever he said. Let's get all the tweets out of the way. Let's deal with what that person has done. Their actions, not their words, because words don't fucking matter. When they got to the actions, they realized it's a house of cards, which we've been saying for years. That Donald Trump is not what he tells you he is. He is a lying sack of shit. He is a fucking terroristic, fascist nightmare who has spent his entire life lying, cheating, and stealing on behalf of the mob, a mob, other mobs, oligarchs. It's over. It's over. And this is why I'm fascinated by the Elon thing. It's like, that's going to happen here too. Watch what happens to Elon. This is not sustainable. What he's doing is not sustainable. And Donald Trump and all of his guys are in so much trouble, dude. Like, to aid and abet an insurrection in the United States to the point where he almost took over. People died.
That was his ultimate goal.
That's death penalty shit, right? It's going to happen. I'm not saying he's going to get the fucking electric chair, get killed by a guy, but the dude is like, It's such a great example of what we're watching with Elon that it's not even funny. Anyway, fascinating story because it's coming.
The thing that's interesting to me about this is if you just take Donald Trump out of it and say, okay, we've got somebody who did this, and this, they would be in jail, right? They would have been in prison immediately. There would have been no bail. There would have been just like that. The list of things that they're saying that they're going to go after him for. Anybody and everybody outside of government would be in jail immediately. Immediately. They wouldn't even hesitate. There would be a raid on their property. They'd be in shackles and they'd be in prison right now.
Totally.
But he isn't. And that's what's confusing about this. He's in the middle of campaigning to run for president again.
And people will vote for him.
And he's a criminal.
Hardened. Huge. Criminal.
So
fascist.
I saw that press conference, and at the end of it, I saw the pundits sitting there going, so hold on, I'm confused. Even the people that do this all the time are going, so this should eliminate him from being able to run for president again. And they're like, well, we don't know. We're not sure about that one. We think so, but maybe it's not really clear yet. But look what he's going to be charged with. And the entire time he's going to be running a campaign. He's going to be running primaries, trying to get elected to be president again.
Yeah.
And he should be in jail. And Dean, he's not. He should be behind bars. Him and all his cronies.
I know.
So,
I know.
So I'm not going to hold my breath.
I'm not either. I was just reading about the penalty for insurrection in the United States. This is the technical term from uscode.house.gov. Whoever incites, sets foot on, assists, or engages in any rebellion or insurrection against the authority of the United States or the laws thereof, gives aid or comfort thereto, shall be fined under this title or imprisoned 10 years or both, and shall be incapable of holding any office at all ever in the United States of America. So, dude, I mean,
if you get charged for that while you're running a campaign,
you should be
should you not be disqualified at the very least?
Yes.
Let's take let's not put him in an orange jumpsuit just yet. He was the president of the United States, and maybe that comes with some responsibility to not allow him to be. But if this was you, Dean, you would be in jail.
Yeah.
If you had done any of these things in Canada,
if we were
try
teachers,
to overthrow the government, you would be in jail right now.
Yes.
Everybody else would.
And rightfully so.
Why aren't people seeing that?
They don't want to. They don't want to. Dude, it's rules for thee and not for me. That's the world we live in today. We live in that crazy fucking world where a guy like Pierre Poilievre can traipse around selling hate and be rewarded for it. We live in that crazy world where, Donald Trump can fly around with his friends, have sex with underage girls, and never be accountable for it. We live in a world where he can literally try and take over the government with a couple thousand fucking rednecks, and we can sit back for the next 2 to 3 years and go, nothing's happening. Like nothing. We live in that world. We live in that world where really famous, very wealthy people that are connected to politicians that support each other. Dude, Canada is no different. In fact, Canada may be worse when it comes to RICO laws. Canada might be the worst country in the world when it comes to allowing bad people to operate in bad faith. We just do. It's just we have no RICO laws.
You got to give me an example of that.
Okay, here's an example. Here's a great example. You know the guy that started Trump NFT cards is the former president of Ukraine. Can't remember his name. Pryakin, I think is his last name. No, if I'm not mistaken. Can't remember. We talked about him last week. Doesn't matter if I'll Google him and look it up. 3 guys did the Trump NFT thing. 2 career con men that spent a long period of time in jail, and the 8th most corrupt Ukrainian official ever who's connected to what's his nuts, Putin. Anyway, he lives in the United States now. Long story short, this guy is as corrupt as they come, right? Absolutely corrupt. He has $250 million in a Canadian bank. No one's touching it. We have taken billions of dollars of money from Russians that is literally sitting in Canadian banks because we have different banking rules that aren't attached to RICO laws, right? Which is organized crime. We don't have those laws here. They have the RICO laws in the States, don't have them here. Canada is a breeding ground for Russian money, Chinese money.
I didn't know this.
Oh,
I had no
idea. Dude. It is so bad that Canada is now looking at changing some of those rules so that we are.
Is it
a little
propping
more
up our
to,
economy?
To some extent, it is. In places like Vancouver, absolutely. Places like Toronto, there's a big LRT thing going on here in the city of Toronto, meaning they're digging underground tunnels. There's a company that's doing it, that has a contract for it, that belongs to a guy named Oleg Deripaska.
I did hear about this.
Strabag, Strabag. Drive by it almost every day because there's one not just south of me where I'm like, oh, fuck, that's Oleg Deripaska's money. And dude, there's so much money from terrible people, bad countries in this country that we just sit around and go, fuck, whatever. We'll collect the interest. We're a haven for it. A fucking haven.
I didn't know. Honestly, I swear to God, I did not know that.
Yeah. Anyway,
I knew we had contracts like this Russian oligarch. Like he's got there's another one that has a bunch of steel mills or something. Steel plants in
the Sioux.
Yeah.
Steel plants in the Sioux. And that I believe is the guy who used to own Chelsea, Roman Abramovich.
Yeah. He owns a bunch of stuff in Canada.
Oh yeah, Canada's fucking full of bad money. And we're like, hey,
I didn't know our banking laws allowed it though.
Big time, dude. We don't have the ability to process financial organized crimes from around the world. We just don't. And you know who really took away the manpower and the ability to do that was Stephen Harper. Weird, eh? Your boy Stevie. He's the guy that did that.
Did you see the CSIS ad on Twitter? Like,
looking for employees?
Did you not find that odd?
Yeah. Hey, a super secret organization is advertising.
Hey, we're hiring. Send us your resume, Jerry.
Yeah. No, but it was for like human resources and like office people and stuff like that, which I believe they'll turn into spies probably.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Are you sick of working at the car wash? Ever thought about being an international spy?
Interested in international espionage?
CSIS might be the job for you.
Have you watched The King's Men? Do you like 007 movies? Yeah. Fascinating, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now you know.
Trump. Do you think at some point he will be incarcerated? Do you honestly believe that this man? Okay, I don't think he will be either. I would love to see it, man. Yeah. I would pay money. Like if somebody said pay-per-view, you get to be one of, I don't know, a couple of 100,000 people that watch the live
execution. Yeah.
Wild dogs attacking. They give Donald Trump
an execution.
They soak him in hot dog juice and put him in a field naked and give him a 30-second head start. I'd pay for that.
I would watch. So I don't think he's going to jail. I think he might get arrested. I think he might get frog marched. I think he might get charged. And I think we might see that. But I think what's going to happen is he's going to do one of these things where they're going to arrest him, going to make a big deal out of it. Someone's going to explain to him and his lawyers in no uncertain terms. By the way, his lawyers now are operating free and clear of Donald Trump's wishes, like to the point where they literally hired outside legal counsel because they were all going to go to jail unless the government of the United States of America got those classified fucking documents back. So they're like, okay, well, let's just fucking pay out of our own pocket. Let's order some people to go and look for those classified documents. And they did, and they found a whole bunch. So those lawyers are not.
That's the other thing,
dude. They are not in it for him anymore. He's got no money. He's got no support. The Republican Party's like, that guy can go fuck himself. Ron DeSantis is their new boy, and that'll be that. And so you're going to see him. This is my opinion. I think you're going to see him get frog marched. But I don't think you're going to see him do any time. And I think in return for either signing something that says, I'm never going to post on social media again. I am never going to talk out of pocket. I'm never going to say another word. and I will never run for office, but please don't send me to jail. Because if you ask anybody associated with Donald Trump, and I know one person that's met him, his biggest fear on this planet is going to a federal pound you in the ass prison. That's his biggest fear. No word of a lie. And he's willing to offer up his family members for it. But that is why he's raging on Truth Social right now. I'm not even going to bother posting that stuff. He's like, he's telling people to literally go and get the FBI. Go and get these guys. You got to stop them. You got to like, he's losing his fucking mind right now. So I think he's going to sign something, never run for office, and I think he's going to be persona non grata and one of those cult heroes like Richard Nixon for a long period of time. But I think there's more coming out.
He's threatening the FBI. He's telling people to go after the FBI.
Yeah, yesterday he's like, "Go get the FBI," and everybody's like, "Yeah, let's go get them." Then the FBI is like, "Yeah, let's write that down. That's all right." He's escalating.
He had secret documents in his bedroom.
Stole them
after he was out of office.
Yeah. Oh, but that's not even talking about the insurrection and the failed coup attempt of the United States of America.
Take that all, like, just imagine, just imagine if you came over to my house and for some God knows whatever reason you're here for New Year's to see the Big Sugar Show at the River Cree. By the way, tickets are still available for that. You might want to grab some. Dean's coming to Edmonton.
28.
Staying at my place. We're up in the loft.
Good.
You're having a smoke. I'm having a drink. And I go, hey, you want to see something? And I pull out a banker's box full of secret documents that I somehow stole from Ottawa.
Canada.
My last trip to Ottawa. And you were like, Locke, you really shouldn't have these in your loft. And you reported me.
Yeah.
How fucking fast would I be in jail?
5 minutes.
They would be at my door.
Do not pass go. They'd be looking in your anus within 6 minutes for other documents. Not Donald
That's
Trump.
what I keep saying. And he's not in jail. Like, that's why I like, as much as I think he should be, and everyone probably agrees, it just continues to not happen. They live in a different reality down there. If you have money, you can get away with anything. Bill Cosby went to Starbucks this morning.
Yep.
How many women did he rape? He raped
30,
50 plus women,
40, 50,
40?
Maybe more.
35 or something. Jail. He's not in jail. The guy was a serial rapist.
Yeah.
And he's not in jail.
No.
Because he's rich.
Yeah.
It's not right. And
Elon Musk offered
you asked me why
a horse
I don't
for
like
a blowjob.
to talk about this stuff.
Went to the World Cup on the weekend. Yeah.
It's because
it
like bothers me so much.
But it's only unfair for a period of time until it's over, right? Until the unsustainable portion happens. Like you watched it happen to Donald Trump and the DOJ. Liz Cheney, by the way, looks great. She's like, he's going to jail today. She's like, Donald Trump's going to jail. And by the way, all of you that helped him are going to jail too. And today, Mark Meadows lawyered up. Everybody lawyered up. Every single person. My point is this, Locke, it comes for everybody at some point. I know you hate unfair. Unfair is not sustainable. It's not a sustainable way to be. You can't be that way. And it's coming for Donald Trump now. Sure, it's 6 years in the making. Sure, I get it. And a lot of people are confused by that, where they're like, that's unfair. How can unfair last for so long? Well, fuck it. Sometimes it does. Sometimes it lasts for 30, 40 years. But it's unsustainable, right? At some point it comes down. And same thing's going to happen for Elon that's going on.
And a lot of
right
times,
now with Donald Trump.
A lot of times the crash is even more significant, right?
Phenomenal. So, yeah, we've been waiting for this, dude. We've been waiting for charges. Charges are happening. He's going to get charged.
Yeah.
It's happening. Just enjoy it. Laugh with us. Love it. Look forward to it because it's happening.
I like the idea of the field and the hot dog water and maybe it's a winterscape too. Like, so when you see, like, when the dog hits him.
And, like live streamed.
Yeah.
Firing squad, what if they put him to death?
And he's not. No, I'd rather see.
Death? Think that's on the table? Do you think execution's on the table?
No, I don't need to see him shot. I would rather see it end slowly, like with wild dogs, or you know what? It's even better. Pigs. Wild pigs
Eat
chasing him. That would be fantastic.
Grease him up too, like one of them.
Yeah.
A little
Yeah.
pig nose on him. Say, good luck, dude.
Take his hair away.
It's a great idea. Thanks for doing this. Appreciate it.
That was good. I like Mark.
He's awesome, isn't he? Really happy that he showed up today. Mark Saltzman. Follow him on Twitter at Mark_Saltzman. Mark with a C.
You and I need to chat about that ChatGPT. I also
Oh, yeah.
need to chat with you about the pitch deck and our show on Thursday with Adam Scorgi.
We're doing a documentary.
Yes. And I don't know what a pitch deck is.
I don't either.
And can I use
Scorgi's going to be.
ChatGPT
Yes, you can. You can
to
literally do
write
a
a pitch deck?
You can do it right now. Write me a pitch deck for a show about me. Do it.
It's not going to be about me. It's going to be about you.
About
it's going to be
us.
about the new launch,
network.
and it's
Yes.
going to be about podcasting, and it's going to be about where podcasting is right. Maybe I just need to write this down. It's going to be about where podcasting is right now in the media landscape.
It's huge.
We're still
over.
very grassroots in Canada, though.
Yeah.
Comparatively speaking, to podcasting is a multi-billion-dollar company. Like it
New media.
business enterprise.
New media. Yeah. Disruptive
Where are
media
we?
is a multi-billion-dollar enterprise. And we know that
Yeah.
now. And we've sunk our
Absolutely.
teeth into it. So we're doing a documentary about the whole thing. So we'll talk about that on Thursday with Adam Scorgi. Guess who's on Wednesday, by the way?
Jimmy.
Jimmy's on Wednesday. Yeah.
James P. White.
Paul
That's
Hendrick.
probably not worth. It's probably not worth plugging.
And Paul Hendrick, former voice of the Toronto Maple Leafs, by the way.
Do you
TV
want
guy.
me to cancel Jimmy?
No, he's on too. He's on at the end.
Okay.
We're going to talk to him about his Star Wars
Okay,
episode.
don't
We're
put
having
him
Paul
on
Hendrick.
with a legitimate guest, please.
I'm no idiot. I'm not having him on to ask questions about the Leafs with like one of the most famous TV Leaf guys of all time, Paul Hendrick. Henny, that's what they call him. I'm not doing that. Don't worry.
All right.
All right. Thanks for doing this.
And then we're taking Friday off, and we're taking some time off during the break.
Yes.
During
We're
Christmas.
taking
Okay.
24th to the 23rd to the 2nd, I believe. Taking off.
All right.
Yeah. Anyway, good
to
to see
see
you.
you, my brother.
Thanks, buddy. Great to see you. Lachlan Cross, 957 Cruise FM in Edmonton is where you can find him. 957cruisefm.ca every single weekday morning. Host of the Locker Room Morning Show. Best morning show in the country. Best rock morning show in the country by far. Stream them online. Anyway, thanks a lot for being here. Speaking of Edmonton, thanks to our friends at Cantork. Colin Livingston and his group of people over at Cantork. What do? Great question. They make hard-working, rugged, beautiful torque wrenches. Canada's leading industrial tool experts. They offer you the best in sales and service, rentals, calibration, maintenance, and custom fabrication of industrial torque tools. No matter the scale of your bolting, loosening, or fastening project, they have your solution. And if they don't, they'll make it for you. They're Canadian manufacturing company that makes torque wrenches, one of a kind in this country. If you're a Canadian and you want to do business with another Canadian company and you want to have the comfort that the guy is in your home country and that you're going to get exactly what you ordered, exactly what you needed, that this guy can fix and help you find solutions for your bolting projects, Cantork.com. Colin's your guy. He's the best. And he's Canadian, manufactures in Canada. Nothing better than a little sticker says made in Canada. Nothing, if you ask me. Nothing. Speaking of which, Ed's Fine Imports. He makes Gitch here in Canada for Canadians by Canadians. Ed has been one of our partners and sponsors for 3 years. Wonderful human being. Makes incredible clothes, including his own underwear called Gitch. Branded underwear, boxer briefs, pouch in the front. You can't miss. Christmas is here. It's here. It's like, what, we're like 6 days away. He can send them to you in 2 days. Hard to buy for a guy? Trust me. You will hit a home run. Order Ed's Gitch, GITCH3. That is your promo code. And it's clothing for men and boys. Boxer briefs, pouch in the front, breathable. They move with you. The best underwear you'll buy, Gitch and Gitch3. That is your promo code at edsfineimports.com. And last but not least, I want to thank our friends, not just at Cantork, not just at Ed's Fine Imports, but my friend Rob Kivlikin. Now, if you're looking for a great defense attorney, you don't need to look any further in Southern Ontario than our friends at kivlaw.ca. I suggested 2 people go and see him this week. 2. Hey, you got that name for the lawyer? Hey, can I give you your name? Everybody's like, yeah, I know my lawyer. By the way, I've got a mechanic too. I'll tell you about him in a second. He's not paying for this though. Just love the guy. Anyway, go and see Ed at Ed's Fine Imports, and then go and get some legal help. Wear your new underwear over to Rob Kivlikin's law firm, kivlaw.ca, Southern Ontario's best. They're defense attorneys that fight for your right to stay free. Anything that you need, any freedom that you've lost, any charges you're up against, whether you did it or not, doesn't matter to Rob. What matters to him is you get control of your life back with as minimal damage to yourself as possible. These guys are the best in Southern Ontario. Email Rob yourself today. It's free to talk to him. Robert at kivlaw.ca. You'll know what I'm talking about after you talk to him. Kivlaw Defense Attorneys, the best lawyers in Southern Ontario. Call them today if you need them. Tell Rob I said hi. And last but not least, again, I took my car to my friend Charlie at Active Green and Ross, Markham, Ontario. 30 years the guy's been there. Maybe the last honest mechanic in the world. If you ever take your car anywhere else, you're doing yourself a disservice. The only guy I trust, Active Green and Ross, Markham. Ask for Charlie. Tell him Dean sent you. See you soon, Charlie. Have a great day, everybody. We'll see you soon. Thanks so much for being here with us. Don't forget, be nice to each other today. You don't need to be mean. Be nice. Unless, of course, the person's a prick. Then let them have it. Have a great day. See you tomorrow. Bye.